In other Peter Singer related news, we have this beauty from Forbes titled, "What if toxic masculinity is the reason for climate change?" Yes, this is an actual news article based on an actual study, which we're going to break down in this video, and something that Fox News host Tucker Carlson is in trouble for questioning. We're going to play that video clip as well. That, of course, is causing a lot of controversy in the Twitter sphere. But, Jason, this article was written by Caroline Santana Milton, and she writes for Forbes Women. Gee, who would have thought that this article was in Forbes Women? And she talks about this latest study, again, putting everything up in question here. Tell us the meat and potatoes of the study. And Jason, how does it feel being a part of this toxic masculinity? How does it feel that you are one of the main reasons for climate change there, Jason Burmis?
Oh, all I can say is it feels like imagination is the cause for imagination when I hear headlines like this. I don't know how masculinity has become now toxic. I didn't know walking around, eating a roast beef sub, smoking a cigarette, wearing jeans, and acting like a man somehow.
Don't mansplain me now, Jason. Don't you dare. You're mansplaining. You can't even defend yourself on this. Toxic masculinity is toxic.
But perhaps, Luke, I really demasculated myself with all those gender norms and
you're
stereotypes.
The PC police are going to come after you, Jason.
Yeah, not all men like roast beef subs. It's actually true. So anyway, in this study, if you can call it that, Burrow, who you see here, and several others from other universities get 2,000 people, okay? 2,000 people between the United States and China. Now, I was unable to find the whole study. I really wanted to get it. But the examples they use here, all right, are Walmart gift cards and BMW ads. Yes, Walmart gift cards and how people interact with them, as well as BMW ads, somehow give us an insight into climate change. So this is the bat shittery that we're dealing with here. If you gave a man, according to this study, Luke, if you gave a man a card with like little pink floral designs and they're basically stuff that they're gender stereotyping as feminine, as a woman, if you give him that, apparently he just goes buck wild with that card, and he gets just the manliest stuff he can get. I don't know if that means he's eating a pork chop off the bone. I don't know exactly what that means. But apparently, if you give him just a regular one that just says Walmart or whatever, he's like, oh, whoop-a-doop-a-doo, less toxic masculine stuff to buy. They really don't cite what exactly the purchases are, which in itself seems very odd. The second thing that they note in this is that they show ads of BMWs to people, and they kind of substitute the term eco-friendly with something else and see which one they would pick. And listen, I'll be honest, I think that a lot of people don't necessarily think that eco-friendly is a bad thing, but a lot of them think that it compromises the quality of their vehicle, okay? A lot of people know this that have bought those types of cars. They have more problems. It may cost them a little bit more money in the future. I don't know if that's necessarily toxically masculine if you pick the ad without the eco-friendly. But this is the pseudoscience trash that is being sold to not only the American public, but the world public. Again, this is kind of like an international study, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, God, like it's just that's all I have to say about this. Like, you would think it couldn't get any more insane, and literally gift cards and BMW advertising. Literally, this is what you're trying to prove as toxic masculinity and the reason for climate change. I mean, they've been fear-mongering about climate change, especially the Democrats, especially people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who says we're all going to be dead in 12 years. There's going to be extinction. There's going to be a world war. It's going to be over for humanity if we don't tax the United States and citizens for, of course, breathing and a carbon tax and all this other just erroneous, crazy absolute nonsense that is not based in any reality. We saw similar things. And again, with that fear-mongering, of course, fear-mongering is a perfect opportunity to strive divisions and make people hate each other and fight each other, so they don't really look into the bigger fear-mongering aspects and how it's based on actually no facts at all. And that's why I think we're seeing this article in Forbes Women written by this Caroline. I think this is why we also saw a very similar article in USA Today that also said that a study finds a race gap in air pollution where, quote, whites largely cause it, blacks and Hispanics breathe it. Again, total just bull crap, especially when you factor in just the reality of the situation that China, India, and Africa are the biggest kind of polluters. Nations in Africa are the biggest polluters in the world. Specifically in China, China is one of the biggest egregious ones, where, you know, if you would make the argument that yes, China is a male-dominated cultural society that, because of the one-child policy, has a significant bigger number of men now than women, to literally where they now have public street performances for dates. That's how lonely and desperate guys are. They need to do street performances and contests just to get a date in China. That's how skewed the population is. If you would have made that argument, maybe there would have been some logic in there. Maybe there would have been some facts in there. No, it's literally, literally freaking gift cards and advertisements. It's crazy, Jason. And Tucker Carlson, you know, we agree, disagree with him sometimes. He was criticizing this, and he is in hot water for the following statements that you're about to see. Do you want to intro this, Jason?
Yeah, you know, I actually enjoyed a lot of this clip, so hopefully we'll play a couple minutes of it here. But, you know, he basically says, when does feminists start doing science? And then he shows a lot of unhinged lefties.
But, I mean, how did we wind up with a country in which feminists do science? I mean, isn't that, you're sort of bound to get a study like this, right?
Yeah, I think
it's comment, Jason, that's the comment right there, that people are freaking out, trying to get Tucker Carlson fired, contacting his advertising, making a big stink about it. What do you think? I do think it was very loosely worded. He could have been a little bit more detailed, and people, of course, are just running with this quote alone without any context here. What do you think? Do you think he went too far? Do you think it's a misogynistic comment, Jason?
No, I don't think he went too far. I think it's ridiculous. No. Wait, is that a joke? I think the study's ridiculous. Like I said in the beginning, we have a ridiculous study based on ridiculous ideas where their stereotypes, their biases play into their hypothesis and their study and their thesis. If Tucker wants to rail against feminists, go ahead. I don't care. I don't know that this really even has anything to do with feminists. I think it has to do with insanity, lunacy, and people being delusional about masculinity even being, quote-unquote, toxic. Guys, masculinity is biology. That's all I got to say.
You know, Jason, that's exactly what the biggest perpetrator of climate change would say. Especially you. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Stay tuned for more here on WeAreChange.org. 4 videos a day, 3 on the backup, 3 on the main. Subscribe, click the notification button. Maybe YouTube will notify you. Maybe they won't. But WeAreChange.org. Stay tuned for more.